I appreciate everybody being here today. I didn't get to watch as much of it as I wanted to, but I heard from quite a few scouts and some of the coaches that were in attendance that it was a really good day for a lot of our players, and for that, I'm really excited. I think this is a tremendous experience for our program to have so many alums come back and to have these guys working out for every team in the NFL who's represented here today. So I'm excited about the day we had. I'm anxious to see a little bit of it on film when we get done here. Questions?
What's the advice that you give these guys when they come in?
This to me is like a job interview. So really the most important thing you can do is be yourself. There's no doubt that they're prepared. They've all trained very hard. They've worked with good people. They've been able to analyze their college career. They've probably gotten feedback from people outside the program, and they've had a chance to work on whatever they felt their deficiencies were. And when you come out here today, you let it go and you perform. And I think, from what I heard, I think they did that. So I think it was a positive experience for a lot of our players.
Okay, what's the day like for you as a coach? Are you hands-off, or are you trying to, I guess, for lack of a better term, sell your guys to the NFL? What's the day like for you?
I never felt like it was about selling your players to the NFL. You know, by the time the scouts get here, they've already made a football evaluation. They've watched 3, 4, 5 games, whatever it is, on those particular players. You know, so to me, today is more about giving them information about the people that they're getting, and that's the easiest thing we do here. And we've got a pretty good track record in that league. I think that's why you have every NFL team at a pro day like we did today, because they know that when they get a Rutgers man, they're going to get somebody that not only is a really talented football player, but is going to be a really positive influence in their locker room and in their communities.
Coach Gary Nova didn't get a combine invite, but he looked great out here today. What do you think NFL teams will like about Gary Nova's game?
No, the first thing you're going to like is that when you put him on a big stage, he performs. And he had some of his biggest moments on some really big stages. He's got a very talented arm, and that's for sure. I thought athletically he looked really good. I didn't see the times that he ran or the agility part of his drills, but at the end of the day, his job is to spin the football, and he's got a talented arm and he can spin it. So they're going to get somebody who can certainly complete the balls.
What do you think a guy like Trezilli can show? Because he obviously didn't have a ton of exposure and you got a lot of bang for your buck last year, but do you think in a setting like this he can kind of shine?
Well, I think what they see is a guy who was involved in 2 of the longest plays from scrimmage we had on the season last year. So he's got the ability to make big plays now. He's got to get into a situation where he can show that he can do it on a consistent basis. I have no doubt that he can. Again, another guy, I thought he looked great today, and I feel strongly he's going to be with an NFL team next preseason, and then he's going to have to work his way into the right situation. But he's a tall frame. He's got a very large catch radius, which they love, you know, and he's got really good hands. And certainly when he gets the ball in his hands, he can run away from people.
The team and Kelly obviously have a lot of experience. What do they bring to the program?
Yeah, they're 2 proven commodities. Guys who played a lot of football in college. They're NFL bodies, that's for sure. And we've had quite a few of them here in the past. Those guys stack up very well with the players we've had here in the past who, whether drafted early, free agents, whatever they've been, have been able to make teams and be contributors and have NFL careers. So I think those, again, 2 more guys that when they get into training camp with whatever team they ultimately end up with, I think they're going to fare very well in that competition as they move towards the first day of the season. Yeah, Michael Burton is as valuable a player as we've had in our program since I've been here, you know, for what he did for this football team. Because he not only does he do all the things that people don't really notice or show up in the box score in terms of being a facilitator for the other people on the field, he adds so much to the culture of the program and to your locker room. You know, those are things that we're working right now to make sure we can replace going forward, and it'll probably take more than one person to replace him.
What kind of buzz is there with the players on a day like this when, you know, Devin McCourty comes back with his big contract and Tim Wright with his Super Bowl ring? Do the current players get excited about that kind of stuff?
I don't know if he had the ring yet today. Do they have the ring already? I would like to have seen that. But,
I'm sure it's been
but no, there's a lot of buzz, and it's one of the great examples as we go through the year of why this is really a family more than it is a football team. And to see those guys come back every year, it's what makes this day special. It becomes like an annual reunion for our football program, and there were quite a few guys here that are playing in the NFL that came back. I walked in the door immediately to Devin McCourty and Jeremy Zuttah. I think they were still talking about the AFC Championship game. One was a little happier than the other, but also I ran into other players who didn't move on to the NFL, but moved on to life and to jobs. So Mike Zanarski was here today, and Mike Z actually moved into my town, but he's a policeman here in Morris County, and those are the things that make you feel good about the family we have here at Rutgers, and I love it. It's a day I look forward to every year.
How about Tyler Croft's NFL potential? Obviously, we made a lot during the season about his stats going down, but there was more to that, obviously.
I think there's a lot more to Tyler than just catching the ball. And if it was just about catching the ball, I don't think people would see him as a true tight end. But when you put his film on, what you see is over the course of the last 2 years, certainly a guy who's very talented with the ball in his hands, but also somebody who can play in line. And that's what makes him unique, is the ability to play in line, on the line of scrimmage, be a physical presence. And then when he does catch the ball in space, to be the ability to do more with it than just catch it and get tackled. I think Tyler can do a lot more with it than that. I heard he ran well today. I know that was something everybody was looking for, because I guess whatever tight ends they had at the combine didn't run as well as people expected. Again, I'm not focused on that, but I have heard what happened out there. So I was excited to hear that, because when you get into the football skills and the catching the ball and the running, Tyler's going to be great.
Coach, what goes into the process of advising underclassmen to declare or not to declare to the next level?
All you can do is gather the information for the player and then answer whatever questions that the family may have and help them make the best decision for their family. It's a completely individual process with every player that comes into the room. Every situation is different. You can talk about past experiences, but they don't necessarily apply to that specific situation. But you give them the information, and then you allow the families to make the decision, because ultimately it's a family decision.
Spring football, I feel like, is coming up quickly. Where are you at program-wise?
Yeah, this day is kind of the last precursor to spring practice. So we got spring break coming next week, and we are looking forward to getting out there and playing some football. It feels like it's been too long. Thank you. Appreciate you guys.